Terrible, isn't it? Absolutely terrible. Our transfer special yesterday interrupted because of Copa Libertadores qualifying round. We've got at least 2 games coming up today as we take on Montevideo City in the first qualifying round of potentially 3 qualifying rounds we need to get through to the group stage of the Copa Libertadores. So hello and welcome back to Vamos to the Top. Hope you're all doing well and looking forward to today's part 2, essentially, I would suppose, of the transfer special. Still plenty more transfers to do because our backline is not great, if I'm honest with you right now. But also, as I say, plenty of matches to play today as well. And we're going to kick things off against Montevideo City any second now. 5 players have come into the team so far, as you can see. We've got 2 strikers in Naranjo and Popo. We've got a left back in Kevin Moreno, who's more of a backup left back, if I'm honest with you. Our first choice right back, who we signed nearly 2 years ago now, but it's taken a while for him to get to the club because of various loan spells that he was on. He's finally here, Carlos Caballero, and he does look really good, I think, in my opinion. Will be a great right back for us this season. And then we've also brought in a keeper, Juan Diego Castillo, who I think is going to be our first choice keeper this year. He's not quite as good as Solis right now, but at 19 years old, obviously just turned 20 actually, as you can see, he will get a lot better, I think, and probably better than Solis. So it's probably better to play him this season. However, I'm not sure if I trust him to really fit into the team immediately. Solis has been here for a few years, knows how the team plays, and I'd rather trust him today in goal against Montevideo City. Now, annoyingly, we did offer a contract to a centre-back, but he's not signed the contract yet. So we're still waiting for him to join the club, Lucao, a Brazilian left-footed centre-back, who I think will be pretty decent for us this coming season, particularly at 6'2", one of the bigger players in this division. Rocha is a centre-back of ours, but he's currently still on loan at Alianza Lima. I'm not entirely sure how long he's on loan there for, until the end of the month. So we're getting back at the end of January. That's a bit annoying. If he could come back now, that would be great. Ooh. We can recall him. It's probably too late to do it now. Recall? I think it's probably too late to do right now. Either way, he's not going to play this game, sadly, because we're about to kick off immediately. And then Jonathan Gonzalez and Puero and Brian all leaving the club. It means they can't be registered for this stage of the competition, so they can't play. What it means is we only have 18 players available to us right now, at least in the first team. So as I say, Solis in goal with a fairly strong backline. Aaron Sanchez, our best centre-back right now. Caballero, our best right-back right now. And Ruan, our best left-back right now. It's fantastic. But the left centre-back role is an area that we still need to improve. So we do have Hamir in there, the young 19-year-old who's not really developed too much in the 2 seasons that he's been here, but hopefully today will play well for us. I have decided to bring back a midfielder just to try and help out a little bit more defensively, particularly because we're not quite sure how good Montevideo City are. So Sandoval is starting, the best player in the team for the past 2 seasons is starting on the right-hand side of the pitch with Tuesta and Delgado alongside him. Chelly being a bit more advanced on the left-hand side going forward, with both our new strikers starting up top. And as you can see, we are one of 3 fixtures taking place in the first qualifying round. I'm also a big fan of his team name, The Strongest. Club The Strongest. That's a fantastic team name. So, kickoff is upon us here today. It is the first qualifying round of the Copa Libertadores. This is going to be a really exciting game. First highlight of the game then, 22 minutes in, and it's a free kick from Montevideo City as they put it into the area, but easily collected there by Solis, and then it's brought out of the back line towards our new striker, Naranjo, who scored 26 goals in Australia last season. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he plays this season. Is going to be more of a second fiddle up top, but I am expecting a good goal tally from him at some point. But this is looking good as Vinicius Popo shot, saved by the keeper, pushed onto the post, and that was a great start for us, and a great start and introduction to Vinicius Popo. Decent shot from distance from a young Brazilian, expecting lots from him in the future. As once again on the ball, back to Delgado, into Tuesta, into Naranjo. Naranjo finds Chelly. Chelly shoots. Chelly scores. And we open up the scoring here in the Copa Libertadores. Things could have not started better. It's actually mad that we're going to win the Copa Libertadores this season. Actually mad. We're going to go from the first qualifying round to winning it. Has that ever been done before? Probably not. Will it ever be done again? No, because we're always going to qualify for the group stages probably, or something like that. As we've just, that went in the back of it. Can we just take the goal, please? We won a penalty because I think Chelly went down in the area. He's on the penalty now, but that cross actually went in the back of a net there. Come on, let's make it 2. Chelly makes it 2. You love to see it. What a fantastic start. And could there even be a third goal here? Well, not quite like that, as the ball has been cleared out from the back. And the ball through the middle for Montevideo City. Solis needs to be on form here, and he is on form. But before we get to half-time, there is one final chance for one of these two teams. Hopefully for us, as we force the ball back to the keeper, sent long and won comfortably by Hamir there at the back, which is fantastic. Gets the ball to Tuesta and now forward to Naranjo. He's got an assist today already. I think he's had a pretty decent debut so far. But if you could get a goal and maybe another assist, that would be absolutely fantastic. As Chelly gets the ball out wide, 2 goals so far. Cross into the edge of the area to Ruan. Back to Chelly, into the middle. Naranjo's there, off the crossbar. And that's what he is being signed to do. He's the big target forward for us. He's the one that's meant to win the balls in the area and get headers on target. That time, just off target. But I'm really liking what I'm seeing from him. He's been fantastic so far. And according to average ratings, the second best player in the team right now, which is fantastic to see. Now, a few tired faces are emerging because, of course, we are pretty early in pre-season right now still. We've only played 2 friendlies so far, so there will be a few issues with fitness, as Naranjo really working hard there to keep hold of possession. Sandoval looks like he's taken a knock. We may take him off the pitch in a second. In fact, we probably will do, just to try and rest him. But with 54 minutes on the clock, Montevideo City looking to bring a ball forward, although they are passing it back to their keeper. We are pressing highly right now, stopping them from coming forward, but they are working it nicely and playing the ball and holding on to possession. So this is something that maybe we need to be a little bit cautious of for the remainder of the game. And the pace of Guerrero is good, and the pace of Guerrero has got himself a goal there. That's frustrating, but we will make some changes right now because Sandoval is injured. So what we'll do, Chelly's also quite tired as well. So what we'll do is we'll bring Carpio on the right-hand side and then bring Morelos on the left-hand side. Just sort of swap that around a little bit. They're both off the pitch, which is quite nice because they were both looking quite tired. So just those 2 changes right now, I think. Of course, we do need to guard against complacency just a little bit right now. It's actually pretty even in match stats. Obviously, our XG is way higher thanks to penalties and things like that. But I do believe we should come away with a win here. And if we do end up dropping to a draw, the away leg's going to be really, really difficult, isn't it? And I'm not looking forward to that one. Okay, so we're not on the ball right now. Montevideo City, 70 minutes on the clock almost, are coming forward. They've got the ball in and around the area, and we can't quite get it cleared properly. We knew that was coming. We knew that was coming. Caballero made the mistake apparently, and to be fair, he just sort of passed it to their defenders, didn't he? That could have been easily avoided had we just not panicked at the back a little bit. You can watch Caballero here, number 2, on the ball here. He just passes it straight to them. Okay, I'm going to shout encourage just to try and maybe G them up a little bit. And potentially we could make some changes in a moment's time just to try and get some fresh faces on up top. Maybe, I say fresh face in the back, we've got no one on the back line really to bring on from the bench. We do need to sign a few more defenders, definitely. As Morelos on the ball, can he get one into the middle? He does, and there's Naranjo at the far post. You love to see it. Just say third of the season there, that's a lie. I don't know why it says third, that's his first goal he scored for us in a competitive game. But he's there, the big man scoring, ironically, a goal right on the floor there. But it's a great goal for us to get ourselves back in the lead and give ourselves an advantage. Right, a few minutes to go in this game. Morelos now apparently got a knock. That's not good. We can't really take him off. We might have to sort of sacrifice that a little bit. Let's bring Kevin Moreno on from Ruan. And then I'm also tempted to bring Juan Beltran on for Popo, who we can do. We can probably make one more sub as well, can't we? We'll bring Gamara on and swap Tuesta around. Okay, just to have a bit of freshness in the centre midfield, up top and in the back a little bit. But, I hope it's enough. I hope it's enough. Please be enough. No, they're through in behind. Solis, you need to make a really good save here, lads. And he didn't move. He just fell on the floor. Well, I must say, a very exciting game, a 3-3, but it's a game that I feel like we've blown a little bit, particularly when you look... I mean, they've had more shots, so you could argue they deserve the win, but you look at the XG, we've matched our XG, they've overperformed, and that's frustrating. At least Rocha's back now. He can at least play the next game if needed because he's a very good centre-back for us. I do like him a lot. But Naranjo scores a goal on his debut. You love to see it. So a week off until the next game. We need to do a bit more scouting and signing of players. And speaking of which, Lucao, the Brazilian centre-back, is coming in. He's a left-footed centre-back. I do like him a lot. He's only 3-star current ability, but we did compare him to our best centre-back last season, which was Alejandro Gonzalez. Right, compare player. Who we're looking at, Lucao. You can see that Lucao in the blue, other than attacking, which I don't think is that important for a centre-back, is the better player. Thing is, I don't think he'll be able to play against Montevideo City because we had to register players before the fixture takes place. So he can be registered for the second qualifying round if we get there, but I don't think he'll be registered for this next game. Speaking of left-footed centre-backs, though, I have just seen this guy, Ricardo Garay. He's Paraguayan, so would count as a foreign player, obviously. And I think we've only got one more foreign player spot available. Ruan, Popo, Castillo, Lucao. Yeah, because Brian and Gonzalez are leaving. So there's only one more foreign player spot. But what I am seeing here is a free agent, 25-year-old centre-back who has been playing recently in Argentina in the top flight, although not that frequently. We don't know all that much about him right now, but if we compare him with Aaron Sanchez, who's our current best centre-back, what we do know is that defensively as good, but physically better, aerially better, mentally better, vision better. It feels like, and has a left foot. It feels like this could be a decent signing, you know. Let's offer him a trial for like 4 weeks and just see what we think rather than trying to take the punt right now. And actually, we could do with another right back because I believe we only have one. Like Cordova is no longer part of our team. Why is he no longer part of our team? I did quite like Cordova actually. I've let him go. Probably, I feel like I must have some rationale for it. I mean, probably his age being the main thing. But if we compare Ramos with Cordova, we are seeing that, other than speed, Ramos is probably a better player. Also got lots to bid from Sport Huancayo, Binacional, Alianza Atletico. So there are a few clubs that want him who are pretty decent, and he'd be a backup player for us. We could do with, he wants to be a squad player, that's fine. Wants to strengthen midfield, that's an area we're looking to strengthen, but I'm not, let's get rid of the cup and stuff like that as well. But squad player seems fine. If we can get one £1,000 a week, and if he doesn't play that much, 250, 200, get rid of the... Maybe drop that to 100 for unused substitute fee. Maybe just leave it in there a little bit. If we can just get him down, that would be lovely. Come on, lad, accept it. How about 110? Come on. He's reasonable, he's accepted it. You love to see it. And that's fine because I accidentally double-clicked. So I would have accepted whatever he asked me for there because I double-clicked by accident. Garay happy to come on a trial as well, which would be quite good for us, so we can get a proper look at him, because it seemed a little bit too good to be true. I want to see exactly what some of these attributes are, and they are looking good. You know, 15 jumping reach, will take that. If pace is up to 14, that would be great. It's probably not, but if it is, that would be amazing. Oh, the Copa Libertadores group stage is made today as well. Now, obviously, it's a long way for us to go, but we can actually view the draw for it, so we might have an idea of where we'd be, or maybe we don't, because I'm not quite sure what any of this actually means. It looks like the groups with blanks is we'd be in one of these groups, because it did say at the bottom like winner of qualifying round 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to be in one of these groups. It's annoying it doesn't tell us which team's in it though, or what qualifying round we'd be. So really, there's no point in doing this, is there? Because we literally have no idea. Well, it gives us a bit of an idea, doesn't it? There we go. It's now telling us, as you can see. So, what qualifying round game were we going to be? I don't know. I really don't know. So I don't think we can be in Group A. I'm going to go on the assumption that we can't be in the same group as another team from our country, given that seems to be the rule along all of this. So we can't be in Group A, but we could easily be in... Oh, I didn't mean to click off all of that. We could be in Group G or H. So essentially, Palmeiras, Colo-Colo or Barcelona, Blooming, Flamenco, Penarol, or Deportivo Cali, Nacional or River Plate. Group G. On the grounds that I've not heard of Blooming before, I'd like to be in Group G. But I have heard of all the other clubs, and I know they're all pretty decent, so... I'd like to be Group G, but I really don't know what qualifying round game we are, if we get that far. Now another centre-back we were looking at, Brian Valverde, has joined Cantalao. I feel like we've lost a few players of Cantalao this transfer window, haven't we? Transfer history. We were looking at, I swear more than this. I can't remember, we were even looking at. I swear 2 players have signed for Cantalao Was it David Torres? It was David Torres, maybe, that we were looking at. They're taking all our right backs. Well, it's been an interesting week in between the games. I feel like we've done a lot, but also not a lot. We've lost a few players as well, obviously, in terms of trying to sign some. But we can't add anyone else to the team, so we've got to stick with what we've got. And I think for this game, as we're playing away from home, I think maybe a flat 4-4-2 is the better way to go. I think. We can't even bring Rocha onto the pitch, obviously, because he's not registered for this. That was so frustrating. Well, here we go. The second leg. We're in Montevideo for this one. I'm nervous. Given the fact, we scored 3, which is great, but they also scored 3. And they did look quite good, actually, in the second half of that game. Like, they really came back at us. So, I'm nervous. I don't know if we're going to be good enough. And that's what really worries me. Particularly because if we lose this... If we lose this, it's the end of all continental football for this season. The only way we can get knocked out of Libertadores and still have continental football is by losing in the... Oh, you hate to see that. In the third qualifying round, that puts us into the Copa Sudamericana. Or if we come third in the group stage of the Copa Libertadores, that puts us into the Copa Sudamericana knockout stage as well. But right now, things are not looking great for us. Hopefully, though, things will change as Caballero on the ball right now into Sandoval. Can he just float a ball into the middle? Someone might be able to, or maybe they'll be able to get tackled instead, and the ball gets cleared up to the halfway line, and Montevideo can come forward. This is not the plan. Ruan with a good header, but it only clears the lines as far as the halfway line. All our players back in our half right now, and no one can seem to stop the guy on the right wing who puts the ball in the middle. Caballero properly clears it this time, unlike the poor clearance that he had in the previous game. If he hadn't done that, we would have had a 3-2 victory, and that would have been really, really nice for us, but it's not quite to be, as once again Montevideo come forward, and I just feel like this is such a long highlight. There's bound to be a goal for Guerrero, or not. Thank you. And it's not really done much to any of the players. Ruan's now upset with me that I shouted demand more. I'll have a word with them at half-time properly. I'll go aggressive with them, even if we do grab an equaliser right now. Some basic errors. Luckily, Delgado's on hand there to absolutely crunch that player and get it all sorted. Tuesta back to Sanchez. Right, this is how we build now. Down the wings, please, if you'd be so kind. Or not. That's absolutely fine as well. Bring it back to Solis. Forward to Delgado. Into Vinicius Popo, who gets it back to Delgado. Great ball through to Tuesta, who gives us a lifeline. That's why we have a centre mid on attack, because they make those runs and they're so bloody good. Okay, half time, 1-1. 4-4 on aggregate. I'm going to thrash the arms, far from pleased from what I've just seen. A few players look complacent, others look down, but most seem motivated, and that's largely positive, I feel, as Delgado, not quite getting the full challenge in there, but he's had some crunching challenges today, Delgado. Really pleased with him and how he is performing out there. But we do need to get ourselves in front in this game, and we're not going to do that by giving the ball away as we did just there. Hopefully, someone's going to challenge Guerrero here properly, and they haven't. Can we just sign Van Dijk or something like that? I mean, he might solve our issues at the back a little bit. You'd like to think. It is frustrating. Although Vinicius Popo's through and immediately equalises. He scores his first goal for the club. Right, back on level terms again. Come on, lads. I just want to get through to the second qualifying round. I want the prize money for this. That will really help the club out massively, help out reputation as well. But, I mean, I'm not expecting us to get through to the group stages. It's a lot of qualifying round games to play, isn't it? 3 of them. Particularly when we are... I don't think we're as good as Montevideo. I think they probably are a better team than us in general, right? So we've got to accept that we are not the better team, that really we should be knocked out here. But you look at the performances that we had last season in the Copa Sudamericana group stage, and we should have qualified to the knockout stages there, really. We just bottled it massively. I'd love to actually, get there, prove the doubters wrong, but as Sanchez gives away a penalty, that seems very harsh. VAR, please tell me that's not no VAR. They gave a penalty to us, didn't they, in the first leg? We've given them a penalty in the second leg. It evened itself out. And they're back in front. We need to make some changes. Naranjo playing terribly. Let's get Gonzalez Vigil on as a deep lying forward on support. At this stage, with nothing to lose, Morales comes off for Chelly, and we move Chelly up a little further to be a winger on attack. We'll also push things up to attacking. We'll shout encourage. That's at least made people green, which is quite nice. But time is running out. And it's one of those situations where it's probably a good idea at this stage. Maybe we swap Sandoval for Carpio, swap those two over. Chelly then becomes an inverted winger on attack. Carpio becomes an inside forward on attack. Castillo then becomes, or Caballero, sorry, becomes a wing-back on attack. Ruan becomes a wing-back on attack. We really try to push people forward a little bit. We go for a advanced playmaker on attack. And can anyone do it better than Delgado? Yeah, quite a few players. Tuesta being the main one. And Delgado actually does quite like being a centre mid on attack, doesn't he? So let's leave it like that, just to swap those two over. Maybe let's whip some crosses into the middle as well a little bit. Work the ball into the area. Let's try a bit of that maybe, just see if that does anything, just to try and give us a chance here. But I'm not sure it's going to or not, as nothing's happening. Or will it happen? Or will it happen? Tuesta out to Chelly. Chelly, the inverted winger, is looking for a cross into... That is one of the greatest saves I've ever seen in FM. Such a good save. And the annoying thing is, if that was Salisic there in the pitch, that was an easy goal for Montevideo. Like, that's such an incredible save there. Montevideo City have really worked hard today. Oh, you hate to see it. And you can make the argument that without the penalty, things would be different, but you can make the argument that without our penalty, things would also be the same as it is right now. Like, take the penalties away, it's still Montevideo City winning. But there's one final chance here as Gonzalez Vigil puts some pressure on the keeper, who clears it, but clears it badly. Right, Caballero forward to Carpio. Carpio then cuts inside. Cuts in, crosses. Gonzalez Vigil. Oh, all of these chances at the ends here. The keeper's having a blinder for Montevideo right now. Solis also on a 6.2, which does suggest he was heavily at fault for some of these goals, and I feel like he probably was. Delgado, Chelly, Tuesta, Delgado. Come on, lads. Just one goal in the back of the net now. We're overloading the area. Look at that. Oh, the ball's not in the middle properly. And with 20 seconds to go in this game, it feels like it's over. It feels like it's over for us. Oh. My word, this feels harsh. This feels so harsh. If we just weren't as crap defensively, this could have been so much different. £287,000 for playing, though. I mean, that's nice. That's a nice bit of money, but takes us up to $1 million overall. But all of a sudden, that's no content of football now this season. It's less money than we would have made last season in Content of Football because we got about £600,000, I think, for getting into the group stage of the Sudamericana. It's tough. But it also presents an opportunity, right? It presents an opportunity for us to completely focus on the league. Like, completely focus on it. And if we can win the league, puts us in a much better position for next season. It also allows us to sort of build a squad now that, because right now, I feel like it was the wrong time for us maybe to be in the Libertadores because contracts are coming to its conclusions and the squad was in transition. We weren't quite fully ready for that qualification match. What this will allow us to do, though, is build a team that we're very happy with this season with the players that we've got, expand on it, and then be fully ready for next season to be in the Copa Libertadores. Now, speaking of improving the team, we have got a full report now on Ricardo Garay. And if we compare him with our best centre-back as it is right now, Aaron Sanchez, is he as good as he actually maybe appeared? I don't think so. However, how many left-footed centre-backs have we found? Not that many. If we compare him with Lucao, Lucau's better. So, sorry, Ricardo Garay. I thought you could be great. Turns out you're not. Also, with Jonathan Gonzalez leaving and Brian leaving, I think that's everyone who should be leaving the club that has now left the club officially. I'm also going to look to try and get a few centre mids in on trial as well, because that's an area that we actually really do need to strengthen and we're looking quite weak in right now. And to be fair, some of these players could be okay. Some of them look pretty awful already, actually, judging by the trial reports. So if we just get rid of like some of these crap guys immediately. I also kind of feel like I'm in a bit of a limbo stage right now, where I'm waiting for when the bonus option for players can be reduced, so then we get more transfer money. Because I feel like the transfer window is a little bit exhaustive right now on free transfers. We may, though, have the option to loan players. This right back looks quite good. Is Peruvian. Are you available to loan? And he is, if we pay all of his wages and a mandatory future of £285,000. Can we get rid of that? It's very expensive. It's way too expensive. And players that might want to join us on loan aren't that great. But it might be an option just to fill out the squad a little bit. Just to get an extra body in there. Like there's no, especially if they're free loans as well, like there's no harm in it. It might be the option. And I quite like this guy at 6'2". I mean, can we transfer, make an offer? How much do they want on loan? Quite big optional future fees in the future, and big monthly fees as well. I don't like that. What about you? Make an offer, loan. Okay, just the wages. That seems reasonable. That just gets an extra body in, doesn't it? That seems fine to me. Also, the final qualifying round right now of the Copa Libertadores with Montevideo City in it. And they drew the first leg 0-0. I mean, I kind of hope they win it now because, you know, I'd like to lose to the team that actually went through to win it all. And also, the lone player is about to come in. Like, he's not special. He'll be a backup player for us all season. Don't expect anything. But it's just nice to have an extra little bit of something in that back line as an option, because it is a little bit weak right now. If we look at the players we've got on trial, though, they've been here long enough now to know something about them. This guy, Juan Ignacio Mendez, actually might be worth signing to bring someone into that centre of midfield. I feel like it's a decent option, offers something a little bit different to what we have right now. It might not be a starter for us, although it kind of needs to be if it's a foreign player. Wesley and Juan, let's compare those two, and we're seeing they're basically the same player, aren't they? Basically, I mean, Juan's slightly better. So let's see how much he wants, because we do need to get someone in, and it would be nice to bring in someone who's a slightly different sort of player, a regular starter, finishing the top half. That seems reasonable. And he wants $9,000 a week. Okay, well that's contract terminate trial. See you later, lad. So Wesley, I hear you want to sign for us. Approach to sign. Squad player, that's fine. On $2,000 a week's a lot. But a 12-month deal is exactly what I want. 1.5, how about that? 1.5. You can do 1.5 for 12 months. That's all I want. There we go. And here he is, set to sign for us. It's another centre mid coming into the team that we do desperately need, to be fair. Also, will Montevideo City actually get to the group stage of the Copa Sudamericana? Let's find out, shall we? The answer is yes, on penalties. Congrats to them. Congrats. It is also frustrating, though, that we were that close to beating them, right? That close, and they've gone on to win the other games and get to the group stage. Like, if we'd beaten them, would have been us, maybe. Also, Juan Beltran is really improving quite quickly, according to the coaches. Like, he will be in with a shout to start this season. He looks good. Finally, I was worrying this was not going to happen. Finally, we are getting the club bonuses that we can drop from normal to low. And this is going to give us £130,000 in transfer budget. Annoyingly, the Continental one is not here, and that really increased it massively last season for us. But drop those to low, we're suddenly given a lot more money. That's what we've been waiting for. I've also been scouting out the under-18s, under-20 team for Peru right now, just to see if anyone there is like good enough right now to sign. By looks of things, we've not fully scouted everyone out yet, but it's difficult. In terms of the senior squad, for more senior players, there are definitely players that I'd like to sign. Question is, they are probably going to be a bit too expensive for us, / not want to join us at all. What about this guy? Right back / centre back, Gianfranco Chavez, 9 caps for Peru. ask agent about availability, and he has no interest in signing for us. Our reputation just isn't quite there yet, which is really frustrating. We just don't quite have it. But what about transfer listed Peruvian players? Well, Oliver is transfer listed, of course, a player that we had last season, not necessarily a player that we need, and he's listed for £100,000, which I am not prepared to pay for him. If we get rid of transfer listed, then we are coming up with a lot more players interested in transfer. That's the most important part, right? And here we're seeing a few more players who could be interested. Jesus Barco, CDM, ball winner, who we need to bring in more centre mids. Played last season pretty well, past 2 seasons. Transfer, ask agent about availability. He'd want to join us. How much do they want for him? Because I'm panicking. If we just put up to like 50 grand or 45, suggest, then it goes up massively. Remove and exclude that. After 50 games, you can have 15 grand, right? Let's say that, but this has to come down to 45, and that's got to come down to 45 over like that, over six-month instalments. And then they want after 10 games or per league period, an extra 9. Right, get rid of that. Let's go 50 and 50, shall we? 100 grand total. And they like that. Okay. That was very quick, Tom. I'm not quite sure if I fully think that's a great idea. I've done it now. Anyway, this guy is Peruvian / USA. Looks to be a bit cheaper, playing at Sport Boys. Last season, played a bit. What I'm seeing is pretty decent attributes. Again, like, if this guy's cheaper, we'll probably go for this guy instead. 20 grand, and they want 62 and 57. How about 35 and 35? So 70 grand total. Spread that over like that. Suggest. They like it. Okay, he's probably better, isn't he? So maybe let's get rid of this one for Barco. Maybe. Maybe? I mean, really, maybe we should have scouted these guys out already, but I didn't. So, we're in that situation right now. We don't know much about either of them. So that helps. Contract-wise, Barco wants 2.1 to 2.9, whereas the other guy wants a lot less. The other guy's cheaper, and I want to try and save some money for other players. So I think we're going to maybe go for this guy, regular starter. Let's say that. Then at least we've got 4 good centre mids in the team. We can promote some players from below, can't we? Let's do that, shall we? On a 3-year deal, it's quite a long deal, but, if we can get him through the door, 1.1, there we go. That's good. Walk away from the other guy. We don't need him. We are this season, though, going to have to start thinking about getting some of our best young talents on new contracts. Now, Chele's got until 2025 on his deal, but when we get to 2024, that's going to, be an issue. So we need some of our best young players on new contracts as soon as possible, really. So we will have to try and save some money in order to do contracts. But also, we do want to try and keep a good run of talent coming through the team, right? And so maybe a couple of young signings could be quite good. Now, a young 6'4" centre-back, that's unheard of in Peru, from what I've seen so far. Not quite good enough just yet, but could be quite good in the future. Like, if we can get a 25 grand deal done here for this guy, they want, okay, a lot more all of a sudden. Let's bring that down to, how about 25 now? Shall we say that? Another 20 in instalments, or 25 in instalments, right? But after 50 league games, which will happen in quite a long time, we'll give you 50 grand, £100,000 total. Let's bring that down a little bit to like 35. Let's just see what they say to all of this. And they want more. So let's put that back to 50, shall we? And sort of take a punt on this guy. Say like 30 and 30. So £110,000 total, maybe, potentially. Suggest. They like it. Accept demands. Also a young midfielder here at Alianza Lima, who is, it looks quite, I think we looked at this guy earlier, maybe, potentially. I feel like I do recognise looking at this guy. Make an offer. Now this is going to be more expensive, isn't it? If we go 25 and then pay a lot down the line, right? So 3 installments of, let's go 75, and then add, if he plays a lot of games, for example, after 50 league appearances, we'll pay you another 30, right? 130,000 total. And they're not too far off. They want a bit more, obviously. 85, bring that down to 25. So 100, that's 135. 35 then, so that's 145,000. And they like that, okay. We can't forget about players that we do need to promote as well. Casasola, I thought his contract had expired and we got rid of him. Yeah, it has expired. Let's get rid of him quickly because, we don't want him at the club anymore. But there are some good young players coming through, and that's something to bear in mind as well. Now, contracts are being offered out to these 2 young players. Luckily, they are quite cheap. Fringe player, that's fine. On a cheap deal over 2 years. Let's get rid of some of these future ways for him to make money. And I don't mind putting his wage up to 450 to compensate for that. And then the other guy, who looks quite good, breakthrough prospect. Again, let's get rid of future ways for him to make money. Put that up to like 350, and he's happy. Also, the deal for the centre mid to come in for £70,000 is done. I do like the look of him. I do think he's very good, and I think he will fit into our team nicely. So that's another centre mid coming in, which is really handy. That's going to be really solid for us, and actually does look pretty decent, I must say. Supposedly the best centre mid in the team right now. Like, if we were going to play Tuesta and him, if we can't, I mean, it's a bit of an accident. I didn't think he'd be this good actually, but if we compare him to Gabriel Delgado, why is this not an alphabetical? Oh, it is. There he is. Gabriel. Oh my God, he's so much better. So much better than Delgado. Oh, that's perfect. And with a left foot, oh, that's even better. Absolutely brilliant. Also, the young guy coming in as well from Alianza Lima, he's also a centre mid, I believe, isn't he? Juan Alvarado. It'd be nice for him to be pretty deep. He's got 5-star potential at least, which is quite good. Could sort of be the backup centre mid and attack potentially to Tuesta. But again, like, lots of caps for the Pro Under 20 team already. I think this is a good signing for us. And then Ortega also set to sign for us, the young centre-back. Probably the weakest of the 3 players that we've just signed there for cash. But again, 5-star potential, offers something in that back line and has a left foot, which is something that we really need. So all of a sudden, having that bit of cash right at the end of a transfer window really has helped us out hugely. And so now we actually do have like a full 2 starting 11s, which is perfect. That's what we need. And I feel much happier now heading into the season. I do think maybe there could be improvements on Lucao and Ruan, but it's what's happened essentially. There are improvements on last season, so we've got to accept that. So looking overall at the team, I do think we have made improvements all over the board. I think our centre midfield is stronger now with the new guy joining the club. Chelly and Carpio have improved from last season. Sandoval's there as well, is great. I think our strikers are better. I mean, obviously we lost Gonzalo Veron, who scored plenty of goals last season. We will miss him, but I do think these 2 are going to be great. Plus the rise of Juan Beltran, I think will be a great addition to the team as well. And then the back line has been improved with Caballero. He's really good at right back. Lucao is better than Gonzalez, who we had last season, right? And then Ruan, I think, has improved to the point where he's probably better than Cordova was as well. So I do think we have improved the team. Of course, the goalkeeper it's a little gamble with a young keeper here, but I do think it's better, and he will develop nicely. So overall, I think we have got the best team we've ever had right now, and that's something we should be happy with. So before the start of the new season, I think we are going to wrap things up for you guys here today. We'll come back probably a few games into the new season, maybe a Cantalao game, because that's a team who seem to have stolen a few players' offers this past season, which is frustrating. But also, I don't think we've played this team before. They've got a cool badge. So let's play these 2 games next episode, shall we, to see what's going on. So thank you ever so much for watching today. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And of course, if you have done, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me. Subscribe if you're new around here and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Until next time, have a lovely evening. Speak to you soon. Goodbye.